What's up, Houday Nation? Big Bengals chatter today. Cincinnati is swirling with quarterback trade rumors, and we've got the latest buzz you can't miss. Rumors are flying after that tough Week 3 loss, and everyone's asking the same thing: should the Bengals actually bring in another quarterback? Drop your take in the comments. Type Y if you're all for a trade or N if you're riding with the current crew. Before we dive into the details, do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, hit like. The headline name making waves? Kirk Cousins. Fans keep throwing him into the conversation, but here's the reality. His 2025 deal is massive. $27.5 million base plus a $10 million guaranteed option due in March. That's roughly $34 million for a 37-year-old quarterback coming off a torn Achilles. Cincinnati already has Jake Browning on a bargain deal just over $1 million. Paying $30+ million more for someone who may not even be an upgrade. That math just doesn't add up for the Bengals front office. Some fans wonder if Kirk Cousins might take a pay cut or restructure his deal so Cincinnati could snag him for minimal draft capital. But let's be real, Cousins holds a full no-trade clause, meaning he'd have to sign off on any move. With a 4-year, $180 million contract in Atlanta, why would he leave when every dollar is guaranteed? Even if he wanted out, the numbers and the risk are brutal. At 37, coming off a major Achilles injury, Cousins hasn't looked like a difference maker since 2022. Last season he went 7-7 before getting benched for Michael Penix Jr. and led the league in interceptions at the time. That's hardly the spark Cincinnati needs. If the Bengals ever explore a quarterback swap, they need someone younger, cheaper, and far more dynamic than a pricey veteran on the downside of his career. The front office knows that, so for now, it's hard to picture any serious pursuit of Cousins. The next name on the radar is Jimmy Garoppolo, and unlike the expensive long shots, this one actually makes some sense for Cincinnati. Here's why. Garoppolo is on a 1-year deal worth about $1.25 million, which is affordable if the Bengals decide they need an experienced backup. His current team, the Rams, might hesitate to move him with Matthew Stafford dealing with recurring back issues. But if Stafford stays healthy, a trade isn't out of the question. The connection is clear. Head coach Zac Taylor worked under Sean McVay in Los Angeles back in 2017 to 2018, and the Bengals have shown they value quarterbacks who already speak a similar offensive language. That's exactly why they added Mike White and Sean Clifford earlier. Familiar terminology means a smoother transition. Garoppolo's resume is a mixed bag. He guided San Francisco to the 2019 Super Bowl and once looked like a steady starter, but injuries and inconsistency followed. His stint with the Raiders was rocky, and he's had accuracy issues that frustrated receivers. Still, in limited action last year he posted 300 passing yards with 2 scores in a single game, proof he can still move the ball when called upon. For a Bengals team seeking a reliable veteran without wrecking the salary cap, Garoppolo is the most practical trade candidate discussed so far. Let's be honest, Jimmy Garoppolo isn't a game-changer, but the Bengals don't have a long list of exciting choices right now. His appeal is simple: a cheap, 1-year deal that lets Cincinnati move on easily after the season if things don't work out. The real hook is the Sean McVay, Zac Taylor connection. Taylor knows Garoppolo's offensive system from his own time with the Rams staff, so the terminology would click quickly. That makes Garoppolo a logical name to keep in the conversation even if he's more of a steady backup than a headline starter. With the trade market thin and the Bengals needing dependable depth behind Joe Burrow, Jimmy G stands as a realistic, if unspectacular, candidate should Cincinnati decide to add experience to the quarterback room. If the Bengals wanted pure excitement, Jameis Winston might be the most entertaining trade target on the board. He's currently with the Giants on a 2-year, $8 million deal, and his reputation is exactly what you'd expect: a fearless gunslinger who piles up both touchdowns and interceptions. Winston's history is well known. He once led the NFL in passing yards and interceptions during his final season in Tampa Bay, then spent a stretch in New Orleans where he went 6-4 as a starter. Last year he had a brief stint in Cleveland, flashing the same big arm, risk-taking style. With Cincinnati's loaded receiving core, he'd almost certainly produce fireworks. Lots of yards, plenty of scores, and a few heart-stopping turnovers. The catch? The Giants may be reluctant to move him, and insiders suggest it would likely cost about a 5th-round pick. That's a steep price for a quarterback who might not be a long-term answer, especially when Jake Browning is already in-house. Still, if the Bengals decide that entertainment value matters as much as steady play, Winston offers a dose of unpredictability no other candidate can match. And with New York reportedly turning to Jackson Dart while benching Russell Wilson, the situation is worth monitoring as trade chatter heats up. With the Giants officially benching Russell Wilson, his name naturally enters the Bengals quarterback conversation. He's on a one-year deal worth $10.5 million, but most of the money was an $8 million signing bonus already paid. That leaves only about $2 million in base salary, plus incentives, a bargain for a proven veteran. Wilson flashed his old form once this year with a career-high passing performance against Dallas, though his other outings were far less impressive. Still, his experience and leadership could make him an intriguing short-term option if Cincinnati wants another veteran presence behind Joe Burrow. Bengals injury updates: several key players are on the mend after last weekend. Cam Taylor-Britt, hamstring issue, status day-to-day. Shamar Stewart, ankle injury, likely out at least another week. Dalton Risner, calf strain, expected to be ready but will be monitored closely. Fant, concussion, considered day-to-day. Samaje Perine, thumb injury, MRI showed no major damage, good chance to return quickly. The Bengals will track all of these situations throughout the week as they prepare for their next matchup. The silver lining for Cincinnati is the Monday Night Football slot this week, giving injured players an extra day to recover and prepare. With key contributors like Cam Taylor-Britt, Shamar Stewart, Dalton Risner, Fant, and Samaje Perine all working back from various issues, every extra hour matters as the Bengals gear up for their next big matchup.